sports. It's in the game.
We believe that you would learn the need for you as a citizen to participate in this data collection program, that you as a citizen to benefit from the Biafra ID card if you are eligible. You will learn about the different data collection categories so that when it comes time for you to actively participate, you will understand your category and what is required of you for a successful application. Briefly, what are the categories? We have type A. Use this type A application.
Recording in progress.
If you are making a regular application, and we will explain what that means. Type B application for people that qualify for special status. Type C application if you are a Biafra government official. Type D application if you do not qualify for any other type of application. And if you are just registering as a Biafran to provide your information. At the end of this class, you will also learn the eligibility criteria for these different types of forms that we talk about. You will also learn the important documents that you need to assemble. Some of them, after this class, you may begin to assemble these documents so that once you begin your application, you will have a smooth ride. So you are wondering, why would you participate in the upcoming data collection? It's important to note that, yes, the government needs this database to plan our new nation so that the government can deliver its services efficiently to you, the Biafran citizens. Some of these services might be things like schools. Why do you, as a Biafran citizen, need to give your government your information in form of data? Every successful government in the world will have a database. That database will help for the government to understand the number of people. If we take one community as an example, let's say Ibocha, that they have 20 million. If the citizens of Ibocha refuse to participate in our data collection, the Biafra government would not know that there are 20 million people. Then out of that 20 million, we may have about 5 million school-aged children. And out of that 5 million aged school children, that there are only 2 schools. So the government will need that information to provide you improved educational facilities. If you do not participate, the government will not know. Targeted policies. If, for example, there are communities that have more of an aged population, you are registering your data, you are providing the government with your date of birth. With that, the government is able to be calculating, planning, and would know that community A has more aged population than community B. Therefore, if we want to provide facilities for aged people, retirement homes or something like that, then we will build more in community A than community B. But if community A refuses to go and crime on earth is driving this and they don't care. There's no way the government will help you. Public health planning. As it stands right now in Nigeria, there is no public health planning. Nothing works. It works partly because that's the way the government has designed it. We, as the citizens of Biafra, may be saying, oh, the government is not really doing anything, there's no presence. But that is the agenda. The Biafra government's agenda is to look out for you, the Biafra people. So get up, participate, tell the government who you are, provide your data so we know your numbers so that we can provide the service. We can look at how to control certain diseases. We can look at how to provide you healthcare facilities, and we can also disseminate information regarding health to you, infrastructure and urban planning. What can you define as infrastructure? Infrastructure things. Roads are infrastructure. Libraries are infrastructure. If, for example, you have 1,000,000 people in a community and only 1,000 provides their information, the government would think it's just 1,000 people. So instead of building a road network that would have dual capabilities or even have about 4, 5, sometimes in the developed world, you will see 5 lanes going one side. The government may just give you 1 lane because you refused to participate in saying, I live here, count me in. Public safety. Why is this important? In your communities, now I'm talking to people living in Biafra land. In your different communities, you see people wearing one kind of uniform or the other, speaking languages that you don't understand. If they are saying kill this person, you wouldn't even know what they are talking about. The Biafra government will implement community policing. That's what we have where I am. That's what you have in most developed countries, where you know who the police is. You know that this police is Okike's son. You know that this Ngozi, who is a policewoman, is the son of Nnamdi. What this means is that you have your own people policing you. So why is it important that you go out there once the link is out to register your data? The government will know how many you are within your community. So that if the Biafra government has a rule of, let's assume, 1,000 residents to 1 police, and if your community is a community of 20,000 people, but you didn't want to go and register, and just a few thousand people, say 2,000 people are patriotic enough, 2,000 people love Biafra enough to give the government their information. My brothers and sisters, that community of 20,000 people will only get 2 police officers. Now you see that you are shooting yourself on the foot because you have disadvantaged yourself. We call that biting your nose to spite your face. Let's use a different example. A community of 1,000 people, and the rule is 1,000 people to 1 police officer. In that community of 1,000 people, only recorded 20 data points as people living in that community. My brothers and sisters, that community would not have a police officer. You would have police from the neighboring community policing you. So So this public safety is one of the most important reasons that people in Biafra land should go out en masse and register. Emergency response. One reason the developed world works is because, as it is where I am sitting right now, if fire breaks up upstairs, I don't even have to do anything. The fire alarm will ring, the fire service. Before I know it, they are nothing. If the government of this country doesn't have my data, the house will burn down. So my Biafra people, go and give to government your data so that the government knows who you are, where you are, in order to come rescuing you. Think of the flood that happened in Obaru the other time. A lot of citizens disappeared. Nobody asked for them. A lot of citizens were floating. All we can say is, oh, well, a lot of people died. We didn't even know who died. Nobody went looking for them. Why? There's no database. If it is a country that has database, that knows each and every individual, the government. So please register your data, social and
Prof, can you help us go out and come back in because when you refresh, because it's lacking.
Okay. A second, let me see if I can think microphone. Is it better now?
No, it's not better. You might need to go out where you normally. So, are you using two devices at the same time?
One device, I just plug in. Is it better?
Okay, now it's good. Yeah, it's good now. Okay.
Is it still good?
Good, very good. Go ahead like this. Perfect.
Okay. All right, let me reshare the screen.
But the screen is on.
Okay, all right, thank you. Let me put it in presentation mode. All right, so we were at social and economic planning. I hope my voice is still okay. So the
government 125% okay.
Okay, thank you. So the government needs your data to be able to give you a perfect social and economic services. Economic services, if you are 20,000 people and you need one bank, you get one bank. If you are 50,000 people and you need two, you get two. If you are 1 million in that community and you need 10, you get 10. But when you are 1 million and you did not register your data, you get one bank. What does that mean? It means that when you want to transact with that bank, you sacrifice a day standing in line equal to Nigeria. So please give the government your data, participate so that you will get an improved service under control. One of the problems that Nigeria has today, and to Nigerians it's not a problem, to us, Biafrans, it is a problem. Nigeria has an open border. They want all Fulanis and all Muslims to come to Nigeria. And we say no to that. And if we do not control our border by knowing who comes in and out, we will still have the same problem. So we need to have the data of Biafrans in order to know if you are a Biafran, you're coming in, you're going out. If we have the data, we'll be able to know who brings in what in terms of trade, in terms of drugs. All of these will improve our national security. Any country without a database will have a very poor national security, monitoring and evaluation. As the government delivers services, they want to be able to go back, conduct certain surveys in order to know whether the services they are delivering is affecting the lives of the people as intended positively. If it's not, then they will change it, bring in a new policy or not. Without you being in the database, you will not be able to respond to such evaluation. All of these that we've just discussed are reasons for you to register in that database, because there are services that you would get once Biafra completely becomes an independent state. Before that would happen, there is an immediate need, my Biafra people, for you to go and register your data. And that is for you to exercise your most basic civic duty. What is that duty? For you to participate in the Biafra Self-Referendum Convention. At this point, people in the homeland, people in Biafra land may be saying, but I would not be going to Finland. No, 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 no. You don't have to go to Finland to participate. Your participation begins with you registering your data. You may have heard our Prime Minister say, as you are registering your data, you are voting for that referendum. So if you want to be part of this upcoming referendum, go to that database and register your data. If you are tired of living in the conditions that you are living in right now, you must participate in this database project. Voting in the upcoming referendum is a civic responsibility. And I say it is no less important than your job. If you are a doctor in Biafra land, voting is no less important than looking after a patient. You are a professor in Biafra land, voting is no less important than your job. You are a trader in Biafra land, that is the more reason why you want to vote. If you are a trader living in diaspora within Nigeria, if you are living in Lagos, Abuja, or any of the Nigerian states outside of Biafra land, this is the most important thing you can do in your life. Vote. And you start voting by registering your data. You must write your name in the annals of Biafra history, so that when your great-grandchildren come up and ask you, grandpa, grandma, did you participate? You would say, yes, I participated. They may even, at that point, my people, just think about it. At that point, the Biafra children then may be very savvy. They may ask you, grandpa, prove it. Can you tell me how you can prove it? Tell the child that your name is in the database. That's how it was conducted. So my people, participate. Because you will live to regret it if you do not participate in voting in our upcoming self-referendum. Still wondering why? Well, you must register your data to participate in this upcoming referendum, which our Prime Minister has said it is the declaration of the restoration of the independent United States of Biafra. This convention is going to happen October, November 2024 in Finland. Now, for those of you that would then be physically present during that convention, as you are registering for your data, you also want to collect your Briggy ID card. Why? Because that may be a required identification document that would grant you access into the convention venue. So now that we've kind of learned why we need to participate in this project, what are the different categories of data collection? We have type A. You have to use this type A form if you are a Biafran who is not contributing to Biafra liberation, either financially or through your service to Biafra. We have type B, and you use this form if you are a Biafran who supports Biafra liberation. Your support can be financial. If it is financial, you must provide your receipts. It can also be through service. If it's service, you must provide evidence. The type C form is to be used by all individuals that are serving the Biafra government. We have the type D form. To use type D form, there are certain categories that you have to fall in. And this type D form can be used by our Biafra people resident in Biafra land. This is where you go to provide your data to the government by registering your data in the Biafra government database. Type D form can also be used by Biafrans in diaspora who do not have valid identification documents or who do not have a legal status in their country of residence. This type D form can also be used by Biafrans who are asylees or refugees. Biafrans in diaspora who may not have legal status or who may have legal status in their country of residence but do not have anything to prove that, or who may not also have legal status in that country, but these Biafrans want to obtain ID card, they can use this type D form. There are other requirements that they will have to meet, which I will not be stating here, but once they get into the process of the application, they would have to then meet up with other requirements and they will get the ID card. Also, type D form can be used by Biafrans in diaspora within Nigeria. I hope this is not confusing. As long as you are in Nigeria, outside of the 40 United States of Biafra plus a day, you are in diaspora and you can use Form D to register your data. Biafrans who are minors, and we define minors as people, male, female, that are 17 years or below. These individuals are not eligible to vote but they can give the government their data. So what are some of the eligibility criteria? What do you have to do or have for you to be eligible to register your data and or get the ID card? Registration as a Biafran will occur through the Biafra Security Administration database using link provided by the government. I will go back to what I said prior to beginning this lecture, that the link is not available yet. If anyone is parading any link, know that it is fake. It has to come from our Prime Minister, and it has to be the Biafra Security Administration database link. For you to register, you must be a Biafran by birth, or born of a father and a mother who by him or herself is a Biafran. Your Biafra origin must be established within the 40 states of Biafra and Ebube. Put in a different way, we will be looking through your family tree. So, at this juncture, I would say to people thinking that they can manipulate the process, Fulanis who may be thinking, oh, who will manipulate it? Biafrans. No, you cannot. It is not possible. So, to apply for Biafra ID card, you have to meet the criteria for database registration, which is being a Biafra and proving your origin beyond reasonable doubt. So in addition to that, you will also live in diaspora and have legal documents where you live. Remember, the Nigerian passport is not recognized as a valid identification document by the Biafra government. So, what are the documents that you need for a successful registration or application? Scanned copy of your birth certificate is needed if it's available. If it's not, there are other documents that you can also use. Scanned copy of country-issued identification document. That could be your international passport. That could be your driver's license, a valid residence permit. Some people call it permanent residence card or permanent residence document. Or a document showing the legality of your stay. For example, for the asylees, the document showing that you have applied for your asylum can also be used, in addition to other documentation that will be required of you. Remember, do not upload your Nigerian passport. It will not be acceptable. You will need a passport photo, and we will talk about the requirements later. If you are applying under the special status ID card, there are other things that you will need to have. Receipts of donations that you've made toward our liberation. You must arrange your receipts chronologically, and please do not recycle receipts, meaning do not use one receipt in two places. You will also provide, if you have that, active membership certificate from your current IPOB autopilot group, participation certificate from the 2023 Biafra Self-Referendum Convention in Finland. Your family members can also apply under your grace. For that to happen, they must obtain validation evidence from you that they have been contributing. An example of this is a child, an 18-year-old child who wants to participate but has not been financially contributing, can piggyback on the parents' contribution to apply. Here is a sample of what the ID card may look like. And I used may because we are still working on this. It may change. But essentially, this is what it's going to look like. We are adopting the Finnish standard. So that's the Finnish document. When it comes to what is required for the passport photo, your passport photo must be 35 by 45 millimeters. And the image quality should not be less than 300 dots per inch. There's a height requirement. And the properties that we are expecting is that the photo has to be colored. When you, after taking your photo and you want to save it as you scanned it, please make sure that you are saving as a JPEG document. Do not edit the document or your photo. Headgears are not allowed. To take these photos, use a clear background. Should be white or off-white. Make sure that your face is clear, and the photo we advise should be taken within the last 6 months. If you have a 1-year-old passport photo, please go and take a new passport photo. Selfies are not acceptable, and people always ask these questions of selfies. Oh, shouldn't we take our photos? For people in the homeland, you can take your photos. But selfies means when you just take the photo yourself. Use your phone, give it to someone to take your photo with you looking straight at the camera. Do not just take the photo yourself and upload. You must have someone around you, a family member that you can hand your phone and they take the photo. Please do not have your photos to be textured or have lines on them. When it comes to positioning, face forward, eyes horizontal, heads not tilted, and shoulders should be straight and not tilted. There are exceptions to these rules. As always, these exceptions may be physical, may be medical. So if you have any reason why you are not able to adhere to these rules, contact the government and we will review per individual basis. Another exception will be children under 6 years. We all know that they may not be able to conform to these rules. For example, you may ask them to keep their face straight, and they may not. Their eyes may not be aligned. They may just be fidgeting. So there will be exceptions for these cases. Make sure that when you are taking your photos, that your expression is neutral, no smiling, no laughing, no crying. And if you are to support someone to make sure that they take this photo to the best of their ability, for example, supporting a child, try as much as you can so that the photo does not capture whatever supportive feature that you have, your hand or anything else. So at this point, a lot of people may be asking, will the Biafra government protect my data, especially from the enemies? The answer is yes. Your data will be protected by the government. The government will protect your confidentiality to the maximum extent allowable by law. Collection, recording, and storage or access to your data will be conducted in a manner that ensures your privacy. The government has data security protocol in place already. This protocol is designed to minimize the risk of unauthorized access, unauthorized use, and disclosure of your information. Storage of your data will be in accordance with robust standards set by the government and the committee charged with handling the confidential information of Biafrans. Above all, though, all the data collected will be encrypted, and this process prevents unauthorized access and use of your data. So if you have additional questions, please contact your different liaison officers or representatives. Also contact the Bridging Media team. We all know who they are. Please do not contact any other media team outside of the Bridging Media team. You can also visit the government website. The government is your government. Always go to the website. So, based on everything that I just said, and the template that we all know that our PM has, Biafrans, especially Biafrans in homeland, we must all tower our heads and shoulders above Nigeria and Nigerians. The Biafra government is asking us Biafrans, no matter where we live, to shun complacency and get involved. Never you, for 1 second, think that Okeke has done it, therefore I don't have to do it. With Okeke doing it, everything is done. No, it is not done until it is done. And it is your responsibility to get involved. We must all be active. Dormancy is not allowed. Now, if you want freedom, you must participate in this database and ID card project. We will let you know when the link to the database registration and ID card becomes available. Please, my people, shun any solicitation for registration that is not coming from our Prime Minister. Thank you. And please stay tuned because we'll be back for database and ID card registration, citizens education part 2. Thank you very much. At this point, I'll stop sharing and call on Mwada Obi to address Biafrans. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister John. Well done. Well done. Thank you so much. Good evening, Biafrans. From here, I extend my regards to our PM, to our leader, Mazinam Dekano, to our angels at home, to the cabinet members, media team, ID card committee, and I thank you all, Biafrans, to be here today. Okay, our sister, Professor Choma has said it all already. And you know, this our data collection is to participate in shaping your future. So it's not that you're gonna do it for someone, you're gonna do it for yourself, for your children, and also for the future generation. You know, in Biafra we have suffered so much, and I remember as a child I always say, I wish Nigeria is like this. I wish when you're watching movie, you'll be like, you know, I wish it's like this. I wish we have this, we have that. This is the time we can have it all. Because Biafran people, we are not lazy people. You know, we are moving mountains all over the world, imagining what we can do when we bring it back home. So please, this is the opportunity to be that thing we always want to be, to build that thing we always want to build. You know, all those talents that are wasted, all those ones that you see on internet, this is the time they can utilize their talent and you are going to be part of it to make that happen. We all have to do this together. So please, when the registration starts, you go out there, you do the needful, you help who you can help, and then you leave the rest to God. Because God is not coming down from heaven to help us. We have to. He has given us the ability and the talent to do that. So it's in our hands to do that. So please, I beg you, all of you, don't say nobody told you. Don't say you didn't hear about it. In the future, when someone asks you, you're gonna say, yes, I was part of the people that brought Biafra because your vote is to bring Biafra. So you'll be so proud that you did it. So please don't let this opportunity miss you. I thank you all and I welcome you all again. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you very much. And Mazuche, please take the mic.
Yes, good evening, dear friends. I'm very glad to have all of you here tonight. This is the time for Europe, and I'm about for now. Thank you very much, my honorable fellow representatives. Without your commitment, we would not have this. So my colleagues have said it all, and in addition to what they have already said here, we must understand that everybody should participate in this democratic process because it's going to be a history to be made and the records are going to be set there. So if you do not participate in this process, I believe that you only have yourself to blame. So start in time, prepare your documents. If your documents have expired, your passport, your driver's license, start now to reapply for a new one because during the convention, some people could not make it to the convention because their identification document was expired. So please do not make that mistake again. Start now to apply for a new one. And most importantly, we must do everything necessary to avoid speculations, rumors. So please follow the Prime Minister's Twitter handle and all the Biafran public government in exile platforms. Follow information directly from there so that you will not be misguided in any matters as to this process. We will now take questions from everybody, and please let us ask questions based on this section that we just have now, this identity verification section. Other matters that have not been discussed here, please, as we are going to have the second part 2 section of this education. Please hold on while we have that section. Then you can bring up your questions. So please, let's this part so that we can take as much question as possible within the time that we have. So please, our deputy Minister of Information, please go ahead and bring up people so that they can. Pastor Van, are you there? Yes. Please unmute yourself. Yes.
Professor Choma, are you going to be taking questions now?
Well, questions are for Mazuch and Madabi. I can jump in, but yeah, both of them for questions. I can jump in if I have to.
All right. Yeah, the points have been made clear. Everything has been put out to do Biafrans. We have over 176 watching. And those that want to come in can come in immediately because the links are everywhere. And we can take questions. Now, Uche, please, oh my God. Now, Uche, please, how many questions can you take?
Let's go by the hands that are raised. Once we reach the maximum, we can shut it down at that point. But for now, let's go ahead and take as much possible that we can.
Beautiful. Okay, please, you can begin to raise your hands already. Please,
Sister Elsie, raise her hand. She was
Yes. You can begin to raise your hands already, please. All right, let's take the questions now. Mazi Onye Kachuku. Mazi Onye Kachuku, please, can you unmute yourself, please?
Our Secretary of Immigration, please, you have to raise your hands through the reaction, not by raising your hands, because it might take long before we get to you. Maybe Pastor Biafra, please. Are you a pastor as well? Where will pastor?
Yeah, Pastor can move on from Pastor.
Yes. Yes, Pastor, please. She raised her hands, but she physically raised her hands, so
Now, physically, okay.
Yes,
All right.
please
Let's take her first, please, so that we will get it out of the way. Please unmute yourself. Let's see it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Professor Chioma, I want to ask this. No, the question is for both of you. Sorry. I want to ask, this process, is it going to be just now and it ends? Or is it going to be a continual something? The registration of the ID card, will it be a continuous process? Or is it just for this time and it ends?
This is the beginning of the restoration of Biafra. So this is the start to the data management system that we are going to have. So it's not an ending process, it's going to continue until the declaration of Biafra and beyond.
Thank you.
So it has come to stay. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, Onye Kachuku, can you please unmute yourself? Onye Kachuku, are you finding it difficult to unmute yourself? Please, DJ Simon, can you please unmute yourself?
Okay, good evening from here. Hello, good evening.
Go ahead.
I greet everybody in the house. Please, my question is this: is there any available link that we can go and register now, or is after?
When the process is not yet open at the moment, when it's ready for public access, the Prime Minister is going to post it through the Twitter page and is going to officially announce the beginning of the process. So currently, we are preparing you to go through the process once it begins.
Okay. Another question is, once the link is out, I can send it to my family, as many as they can, to go and register there as well, right?
Well, if the family member is eligible, of course, the person can apply, of course, definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You can lower your hands immediately. You are done. Thank you.
And in addition to what he just asked, of course, the data collection is open to everyone, every Biafran. On the other hand, the identity card process is limited to those who are eligible to apply for it.
Thank you, Mazi Uche. All right, Becky Novakari. Help me. Novakari, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Pastor Biafra. Now, what you with the talk?
I know it's what you, but did I get the pronunciation?
Good evening. Novakari, yes.
Novakari. All right. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I greet my Honorable Minister Shoma and Mazi Uche. I greet you. Thank you, our minister, our Europe rep. Thank you very much. Yeah, my question is, I don't know if they mentioned it when I was not here. I came a little bit late. Like my children, their father is Italian, but they are recognized as Biafran. Can they register through the link on the database?
For as long as one of your parents is a Biafran, you are automatically qualified to submit data as a Biafran.
Okay, thank you very much. So I can register with my Italian passport because I don't have any.
Yes, the European identification documents are, it's a means of identification for the process, so that you can use that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Biafra Queen. Troops, unmute yourself, please. 60 seconds. We're going to make it fast. 60 seconds for each person.
Thank you very much.
Or lesser than that.
I would like to ask a question about the data and privacy protection framework that will be used. Is it going to be the EU DPR or the UK DPR? Because we have this issue with the UK, and if we are going to have our data on that UK again, then that will be a problem. So, is there any way that you can shed more light on which data protection framework will be used?
You just mentioned currently that there is the EU and there is the UK data privacy. The same applies to Biafra. There is the Biafra data privacy, which is going to Biafra. Currently, that information is not going to be made public yet until the due time. But as to regards that is something being done about that, it's a work in progress, and we have data privacy ongoing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's it. Thank you very
So,
much.
if I may add, to what our rep just said, whatever data privacy that we are using is gonna be Biafran and is gonna be consistent with international standards. So we need not worry about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, Father Anthony, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello? Yeah, sorry, I was trying to mute myself. I wasn't able to do that. Thank you. I have types A, B, C, and D on the one you can register with. And right now, because of what happened when my name was registered, all our receipts we were sent to all those people. How can we produce a receipt when we're trying to register to identify ourselves for ID cards?
Have you been following the Biafra Republic of Exile? Have you been following the government since its establishment?
But we eventually joined, some of us eventually joined back in, yes.
So if you join back in, I think the receipts of payments from that moment should also count as a valid receipt for obtaining that status.
All right, thank you.
So if you're not able, I think this also goes to everyone. If you're not able to obtain your previous receipt as to the formal IPOB family, please, you can submit the receipt you have following the time the IPOB autopilot was to cover the affairs of the liberation. That should be done.
Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much for your hands. You are taken care of. Thank you very much. So look at that. If you unmute yourself.
Good evening, great reference, and good evening, Monday. I can about the Euro also Ibolania. For the cabinet, I greet everyone. This is my question.
Thank you, Professor.
My question is for those that live in, like today we are in Europe and Africa, like someone that has an ID or European driving license in his country of origin, but the license is expired for one reason or the other, he couldn't renew it. But though in Europe we know that the person's name is already in the country's database. So my question is, can that expired driving license, European driving license or residence expired, can it be valid for our registration for Biafran ID card? Thank you.
Thank you. You know, this situation is case by case specific. Like you just mentioned, you talked about driver's license, and then at the end you mentioned about residence permit. So you have to have a legal grounds wherever you are. So if they already have your data in that country, means that you are able to obtain an updated your updated residence permit. So in that sense, your driver's license can be used in addition to the valid residence. So both can be used at the same time. If your driver's license has expired, it doesn't matter once you have a legal residence permit, because what we are trying to get is the information, your data. So the expired data matches the current residence permit. So the future process.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Please, we are going to be taking only one questions, and as fast as we can, because a lot of hands have gone off. All right. Be very quick, not accolades, go to the point, ask a question, and it will be taken immediately. Aditya, please unmute yourself and come. And please, if I call you, you are not responding quickly, I'll go to the next person and I'll lower your hands. So you have to be very quick and be very fast about that. Aditya, unmute yourself. Aditya is not ready. Please, the next person there is Chioma. Chioma, how very long name. Unmute yourself, Chioma. Chioma seems not to be ready. Chioma, can you unmute yourself? Chioma is there. And then we'll move further into our own mommy. And then please unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Baba. I'm very, very happy. This is very, very wonderful. I'm grateful. Thank you, Dr. Chairman. Thank you, all the team in the legal field, my sister, and the silent listener of every conversation. Martin, praise. Thank you. I'm just grateful. Nothing more to say. This is just one dose, and I'm dazed. Second dose will be like swinging. Thank you. That's it.
Wow, that's a
I always want my sister to smile.
Thank you, Mommy Nena. Thank you so much. Please, we're going further very quickly. Paul, one, Red, our Finland Red, please unmute yourself, Paul.
Before my Paul goes, there is people that have been talking about because I'm also going through the message section, and they are talking about the data policy. I want to also make it clear to Biafrans that every step and every policy that Biafra is going to adopt is according to the international standards. So if you are worried as to our policies and where our policies falls under the international law, but it's going to be the Biafran standard. Thank you very much. You can go ahead, man.
Thank you very much. Biafra is the best thing that will ever happen to every one of us. Mazi Paul, please go ahead.
Good evening, all. Can I have my video on, please, Mazi? Please. Can I have it on the
on your video, please. On it now.
Yeah, thank you. My question goes by, well, actually, I have to thank my fellow comrade, my Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Embana, my Supervisor, Mazi Nankano, and every cabinet, thanks everyone. Yeah, my question goes by, the ID. Do we have any like issue date and like issue date and the expiring date for the ID, or is it like something like you can't renew it? Because I understood that any ID, even the citizen, because sometimes when they go for the ID, they have to pay some tokens or some rate that the government have demanded for the ID. And that is it. Just I want to know if there's a issue date and expiring date for this ID. Thank you.
Thank you. According to the international standards, we must always have an expiry date in order to update people's information, because the way you look today is not how you're going to look in 5 years or in 10 years time. So because of that, we must always have an expiry date. Might be 5 years, might be 6 years, depending on what together for us to, are we going to have an expiry date? The answer is yes, there's going to be an expiry date. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mazi Paul, for that question. Louis Young, please unmute yourself.
Hello, can you
Go
hear
ahead,
me?
just seconds.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Go ahead.
Please, my question is regarding on the certificate for our parents that are back home. Because I heard that to upload their data, you don't need to use a Nigerian passport or whatever. Like I want to use my father for example, and my mother. They don't have their birth certificate because during their olden all this old days time, their birth certificate has, I don't know where they kept it, and I tried to ask them. They say they cannot find it. How can I be able to, to register them since the Nigerian passport or nothing like anything like Nigerian passport will be involved? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So they fall under the category D, which is data collection, and of course, the submission of the birth certificate is optional. What matters that we are collecting the data of our citizens, because we understand that Nigeria has rendered us, would I say, useless in terms of education. So most of us do not even remember our birth date anymore. So those things are what we are trying to collect, and we have to start from somewhere. So it does not really matter whether they are able to find their birth certificate or not, but as long as they're able to upload their information and take a picture of themselves and upload it to the database, that should be enough. Thank you very much.
Okay, please, can I ask one question more, please? Just one.
Go ahead.
Please. Like now, I am in UAE, and I have a UAE residence, for example, and I am planning to relocate maybe to Europe or to another country. And as it is now, for now I've not been able to get that country resident. Can I also use the UAE resident also to in the other country that I'm into? Is it possible?
Well, it depends which country you're going to. If you are going there legally, you must always be where you are applying from. So you cannot go to another country and use another country's identification documents to apply. So this is also something that we haven't. Would I say this is an updated information that we're just getting, because we haven't sort of considered this aspect. But the answer to this is that you must be legal in the country of your residence. In some way, it could be either by residence permit or you're an asylum seeker. So whichever way, then you can be able to update your use the identification document you have, if the country that you are coming into will accept the UAE documentation, then that should be fine, because you are, at least if you're going to the country, you must be able to report that this is the information that I have from the previous country where I was. So with that, you can also use it to make this application. But please know that you must be legal in the country of your residence through residence permit, through citizenship, or then you are seeking refuge as an asylum seeker in that country. Because we are also trying to respect the international laws. We are not going to the Nigerian way here. So all of us also respect that process and not try to play with the system. I know that most people will be finding a way to would I say, meander their way into the system. But please know that you cannot be shouting for Biafra. The time for due process comes and then you want to jump the queue. It's not going to happen because the system has been set up in a way that as you're trying to jump the queue, perhaps you might not even see the queue to jump in the first place. So please, everybody should try to respect the process. We want Biafra. Let's try to show a high level of integrity in whatever we do. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So please, if I may just chip in something about the birth certificate, because a lot of people may have a problem with birth certificate given where we come from. So if you don't have a birth certificate and you don't have any other thing, there's something we call declaration of age document, where you can go to a legal place to attest for a certain age that you believe is your age. The most important thing for you to know here is that once you submit that age declaration document and select on the forms that you are born at a certain time, you don't have to go changing it all the time. That's the important thing. So please, if you don't have a birth certificate, for some people that have traveled, some people traveled without a birth certificate, but you must have attested to your age. You have that document. Upload that document in place of birth certificate. For people in the homeland, if you are able to also do attestation of age, get that document, upload that, that becomes your legal age and is acceptable internationally. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mazuche, you want to say something?
Yeah, we literally said the same thing, so you can go ahead, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Otumwamwanya, please, can you unmute yourself? 60 seconds, please. Otumwamwanya, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, BIAFRANS. My greetings goes to our Prime Minister and all of you. I thank you for what you're doing. Yes, my question is there anything to verify the authenticity of documents people are going to be presenting? Why I ask this question is because here in Italy, I know in Napoli, with fake documents, especially driving license. And again, the question for the driving license is our international driving license going to be valid in the United States of Biafra? And is there anything to verify the authenticity? That's my question. Thank you.
Yes, the answer is yes. We have a very strong verifying the identity of the thing. So the answer is yes. And as to international driver's license, for as long as it's an inspection recognized driver's license, of course, it will be applicable in the applications. For as long as it's by our authentication system, then if it's accepted, then I believe it's accepted.
And also, there are people that drive with fake driving licenses. That is why I'm asking this. And I don't think it's until the police stop them and if proper check is not done, these things will not be found out.
That is until the authority stops them. So the same applies to here. They are going to pass through the Biafra government authority. So once they go through that, they will not be able to find their way to the next level. So it is, we have a very strong of verifying the identity documents. The government has invested heavily in this education management system. So that is very, very important that we show a very good transparency in terms of documentation. Africa as a whole has not been very, very effective in terms of identity management. Nigeria does not have any identity structure, nothing. They don't even know whether your parents or my parents, whether they exist. It's none of their business. So this is something that we have, the government has invested heavily, and there is means to eliminate fraudulent applicants. Thank you very much.
Thank you. JJ Osinachi, please unmute yourself. 60 seconds, please. One question, not more than one question, please.
One of you can take over from here and then come in a bit later. Thank you.
JJ Osinachi, are you there?
Biafra.
Go ahead, please.
Good evening, my brothers and sisters. I don't really have much to say. My question goes about database correction. Like our people in homeland. So when the link is out, I hope we can be able to send them the link for them to register for the database correction.
Yes, you will be able to send to them, only they have to do it themselves where they are. You cannot do it for them from here because they need to take a picture of themselves on their phone.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we move ahead. Azuanoka Chimaobi, unmute yourself, please. Azuanoka Chimaobi, can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Pastor Rambam and all the cabinet that you follow. Thank you, Mother Celestina, my sister. This is at the press on Sunday. We are the friends. I think it's not there for people. So my question goes like, can I use my phone and upload or register for my wife and my kids and my father and mother? Can I do it for them? That's my question.
Yes, you can do that. Yeah. Can I go on? Or are you still talking?
No, that's my question.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that if all of you are at the same location. You can help them. Yes.
All right.
All right, thank you. Benjamin Isaiah. Benjamin Isaiah, please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, Pastor Baba. And I would say thank you, Choma and Maziochi, for on your team for the great job you have done. Do you mind if I ask this question? Is there going to be a downloadable and printable form on the PDF form anyway, so that we can be able to peruse through it and be acquainted to the category one falls into before we apply, so that before we go to the form proper and apply, so that we will not make mistakes. Because most of our people at home, we tell them to print the information for, so that we'll be acquainted with it and they know how to go to when they open the form. Just ask for everyone to be about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, all these things we are teaching here is going to be on the government website when the time comes. So when the time to submit your data comes, you go to the government website, you're going to read all these things again, you're going to see them there. So first of all, it's very important that you read first. Read it again. If you have to write it down, on a piece of paper or open it on another computer while you go when you feel and follow the instructions, you do that. But the most important thing, check what type you fall into. That will be the best way to start. When you know the type you fall into, then it will be easy for you to navigate. Thank you.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, in addition to that, there is also going to be a possibility to city application and come back later. So if you have any form of incomplete information that you need to fill, even though it is necessary for you to have all the requirements at hand for your attempt to make the application, but for any reason you get stuck during the process, you can always save and come back later to the application.
Okay, so great answers, and I would add that there is an overview document that will be associated with this application. And the way that we are envisioning things to be is that you must, as an applicant, go through the overview document, read and read and read and read. If you like, read it 20 times until you understand it, because you must attest at the end that you've read and understood before you can even access the application. So you cannot even start completing an application without understanding what you're completing. And we take your point, the committee would think about it to see if that overview can actually be made available for people to print and then read at their own pace, assuming they don't want to burn their data reading. So that point is well taken. Thank you. I would please, Pastor Van Van Van, I would like to address one Comrade Chooks on the comment section. I think he's asked questions about the data protection policy that the Biafra government is going to be implementing. And I think he's continuing on the chat section. So, Comrade Chooks, I believe you are listening. The answer given to you was that we are going to be running Biafra data protection policy that will be modeled for international standard. And your question is, what does that mean? It is vague. Yes, it has to be vague. We cannot give you our data protection policy here. And what Biafra policy means is that you listed Asia, UK, US Privacy Act, and all that. Yes, we know all those. And we're gonna go into each and every one of these policies that you mentioned. We take the good and leave the bad. And we come up with a Biafra tailored specific policy. I hope that addresses your question, and please put it to rest.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, comrade, put that to rest and don't flare up the comment section. Otherwise, I don't give a Thank you. Was that Emmanuel? Emmanuel, have you asked your question? Emmanuel? Unmute yourself if you haven't. Emmanuel? Oni. Emmanuel? Okay, we don't need to start yelling for you. You're not ready. Thank you. Onyeka, please unmute yourself.
Good evening, Van Van. Sorry, please. I was battling with my network here. Good evening, great dear friends, and it's an opportunity for me to come here. Please, my question is for our children that are studying abroad, can they present their, because they obviously travel with Nigerian passport, can they present their school ID as part of their identification? Thank you.
Thank you. Your children studying abroad, I guess they have also a permit. Stay there, right?
Exactly.
Okay. The permit is also means of identification.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, very fast we move. Oyenka, unmute yourself. Oyenka Chuku, unmute yourself.
Thank you, apologies when I called before, I had technical issues. My question goes this way. Can the Biafrans who are currently prison inmates be allowed to participate in the data collection if they have access to smartphone? Secondly, during when you host some youth fundraising, I did know in this context, family is the husband, wife, and kids. For example, you donated money on behalf of children in your family. On what category would those children be in this context? That's my question. Thank you, Prof. Choma and team. More grace to our heavens. Thank you.
Thank you. The first one, your first question falls under category D.
Pardon?
Your first question.
My first question is the Biafrans who are currently prison inmates, if they have access to a smartphone, would they participate in the data collection?
Yes, they can. They can give their data under type D, because type D is for all Biafrans. It doesn't matter where you are, where you live, you use type D. And type D also is for Biafrans in homeland that doesn't have means of identification. So they also falls under that category.
Thank you. Secondly, I did know in this context, family is husband, wife, and kids. But in a situation where you donate money on behalf of children in your family, on what category would their ID cards fall into?
If you're a member of this organization and you've been donating, you've been supporting what we're doing, and you have your receipts, so your children and your wife falls under.
Not my children, please. I said maybe children in my family who are not my children, but I am donating on their behalf. Come and say thank you.
If you are donating on their behalf, which means they have the receipt, they can also apply.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Onyeka. And Azodo Michael, unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I salute our Prime Minister and all the ministers. Okay, so my question here is, I want to ask regarding about some of us in diaspora who have a legal document in our country of president, but the document is not in our original name. So what I'm asking here, can we use the document to apply for the Biafran ID card and later change the name to our original name?
Yes, you can use the document that you have acquired from the country of your resident to apply. We are not going to do any name changing now. When we get to Biafra, we will sort that all out. So everyone just have to keep their name the way it is on their legal documents.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Chioma, can you please unmute yourself? Chiomamba, can you please unmute yourself? Do that again, unmute yourself again, please. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I am speaking from I'm speaking from homeland. So my question is, we that here in homeland and we have been trying to fit into what we are doing since our leader was rendition to Nigeria, and the opportunity has not been given to us. We are no longer paying our monthly dues and the taxes, and we have no way to do that. So my question here is that based on the registration, what are we going to do? Are we going to abandon the old receipt that we have during the time we are paying our monthly dues, or is that ID card still valid?
Actually, this is a registration topic, but somehow it falls under this because you want to know if you're going to use your receipt to get an ID card, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but the people in homeland are not getting ID card for now. So homeland is only registering as a Biafran. You register your name saying, I am a Biafran. I want my government to identify me. I want my government to know me, to know that I am a Biafran. That is what homeland are going to do. And when we are in Biafra, they will do all ID card for everyone. But for now, homeland doesn't need to apply for ID card. You go to type D. Type D is for homeland. Okay?
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, very, very clear. Thank you very much.
And in addition to that, I also want to make it known to Biafrans that this is not in any way to discriminate, but you must understand that if you are in diaspora, you must be able to identify them with an identification document, because upon declaration of Biafra, before you come into Biafra, you must have an identification document. But you that is in homeland, you're already in Biafra, and once Biafra is declared and the structures are in full force, then you can be able to obtain these identification documents, which will be at everyone's disposal. But for now, we must assemble ourselves in diaspora, and it can be done through the issuance of these identity documents. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, please, let's take a question from the chat. Obi Andrew. Obi Andrew is asking, what of the Biafrans who can't read or write? What happens to them, please? So, Obi Andrew, that's why they have you. And that's why they have other members of your community. Remember, this is a communal effort. So if you are based in the homeland, take your smartphone and go to all the people you know that cannot read or write, help them to register their data. If you are not in the homeland and you know of someone who can read or write, in your kindred, your umunna, your community, call up on that person and tell the person to ensure that all the people, old and young, that cannot read or write, not just read or write, that don't even have access to a phone, not just having access to a phone, that have access to a phone but don't have money for data. That is where you come in. Perform that civic duty, register all of them, people that cannot read, people that don't have access to phones to do the registration, people that have access but don't have the data to do the registration. So organize your community and do that registration, knowing that if you do not register everyone in your community, you are doing a disservice to yourself, because you are minusing your number. So you want to get the accurate number of everyone in your community. If it means you sacrificing your time, sacrificing your resources, please do that. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you very much. Kenneth, unmute yourself. Please go straight to the point. 60 seconds.
All right, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak. Are you hearing me?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people speaking, and my major question is that data protection one, and according to what I listened here before, that people can get your ID card usually be a regular contributor of this movement. What of if you are trying to get in contact with people that are in charge of contribution, their number is not going? What's going to happen?
There's nobody that the numbers are not going. My numbers are going. Two of us, our numbers are going. So who have you called that the number is not going?
I'm being sincere to you. Last time I called, you gave me a number of somebody when it was not law. The number is not going. I called it again. Yeah, in UK.
Okay, in UK, you can access the website yourself. You don't even need anybody to make your contribution. You can do that yourself. Oh, you know.
Yeah. Send me the link of the website.
Yeah, you can do it yourself. Yeah.
Because when I try to access Biafra, give me another visit.
No, go to IPOBInusa.org. IPOBInusa.org.
IPOBInusa. Anyway, everything down.
IPOB.
Everything down.
Somebody, okay, go to the comment section now. We don't need to waste time. Go to the comment section. It's there. Pick it up. Dr. Joy Europe, just pick it up down there, okay? Just go there, pick it up, and then you have the website. Thank you very much.
Okay. What about the data protection? Because
the data protection is in place. I don't know when you joined this program, but we have already addressed that issue, and the result or the response was that we have data protection. Is what we do. And the correct one impression, the identity application is open to every Biafran. Everybody is open to apply for identity. The question qualified apply for. So don't say that that you are not able, that if you do not donate, that you cannot apply to get the Biafran identity. Even those that haven't been contributing to immigration, as long as you are Biafran and you meet the requirements to obtain the identity card, you have an option to apply for an ID card with the identity. So it is open for everybody. Thank you very much.
And the data collection is for every Biafran, everywhere around the globe, even those that doesn't have the website, that have not even contributed before, for the data collection. So we need your data for the referendum. So you have to vote for the referendum, and whether you have contributed before or not, every Biafran is entitled to cast their vote. Thank you very much.
When will that happen? When will the referendum happen? When will the referendum happen? Because I would like to vote.
Okay, in October, November, in Finland. Yeah. Before then, the data must have been collected.
Okay.
Yes, like the Prime Minister announced, the process will be ongoing as you are registering your data. Everything will be going on simultaneously. So just keep your eyes on the platforms. These things are going to be officially announced by the Prime Minister, so that you will not be left what is going on. Please ensure that you get in touch with your representatives in the UK, because we are not going to be here at all times to respond to your questions. So it is very, very imperative that you
it's quite unfortunate the representatives in the UK are not active, because when you call their line, it's not going. So I'm sorry.
Have you tried to drop a message to them?
I use another phone and call it the number. I put it for you to listen.
I said, have you tried to drop a message to them?
I have dropped message 3 or 4 times. They didn't come back.
They'll call you.
Okay.
There are two of them. One of them was called you.
When did you transfer?
Nobody has messaged me. I've tried to call it many times. It didn't go. I don't message. It didn't come back.
Well, I believe that because this is EU, Europe, rather education session, so I believe they are watching and they will take note of this your complaint. I will apologize for that. They are going to get back to you. I believe they are taking your feedback. Thank you very much.
You can thank you. All right, go forward. Oguburaja, please unmute yourself. Hello. Go ahead.
My name is Oguburaja. I'm based in Dallas, Texas. I'm a minister. Now I want to chip in something on the other side of ID card on what we're talking about. You know, in Zoo.
Please, just a moment, please. Mazira, please, can you now stop the questions? We will take, I think we have our hands, 5 hands raised here.
Yeah,
okay. After that, we can put it in.
All right, thank you. So, Benedict,
so
is the
if
last
there is anybody that wishes to raise their hands, please do it now so that we can close the presentation. So we have the opportunity to do it now. Okay, so we have.
Right, we have the seven hands, so that's it. All right, thank you. Thank you. It's going to be the last one. Good. Go ahead,
I said, based on those that are working on the ID card, you know, back in the zoo, if you look, you have a view of some of their ID cards or their documents. The expiring date does not tally. They only give you maybe, let's assume it's now where in United States and in Dallas. If your address, your expiring date of every document given to you expires at the date of your birth. So, as a statistician, which I am, and I want our own to be likewise, so that somebody who is writing the program will write the program in such a way that when all data are collected, if we're issuing it, let it be not just going to be maybe if you're born on December, it's going to expire on December. If you're born on March, it's going to expire on March. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, thank you very much for that wonderful contribution.
And I want to say one thing again. I am so happy. I have been with this struggle from over and over. Mazin and the Carlo we met there in Dallas. Sometimes they were using my church as a meeting ground. But when things started going awkwardly, I back off. I have spoken to our minister. I have his number. I contacted, he called me earlier time when autopilot was starting. We contributed, we prayed together. Now the prayer, God has answered our prayer. We are in our new country. So my families are scattered all over the world. I have brought them back closer, both in Japan, in Germany, in Italy, in UK. So I've gotten all the information I really wanted. So I'm going to tell them where to go so that they can contribute to this, so that we can be able to carry all these things together. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and your suggestion has been well noted. Thank you very much for
that. Perfect. Thank you. All right, Ucheman, please unmute yourself. Please go straight to the point. And no more hand raised. Hold on, no more hand raised. Andy Johnson. Andy Johnson is supposed to have been the last one. Chinedu, just raise your hand. After Chinedu, We are not going to admit any other hands, okay? Thank you very much.
Wando, please, if you can take over from here.
Okay, Mazi, thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak. My question would be, well, like myself, I'm married to a South African with kids. I live here in Germany. If I'm to register her under the data protection, under which category we should fall? That's my question. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are you supporting our liberation?
Yes, I've been supporting the liberation since 2016, right from South Africa, before I came to Germany.
Okay, and when the PM took over in piloting
yes,
of Biafra, you also supporting, you have your receipts.
Yeah, yes, when PM took over, I've been supporting African Rep Mazi James. I testified to that. I've been supporting from day one.
Okay, in that case, then you and your wife and your kids, you can give your data and you apply under Tag B, which is the special status.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Sorry, did I hear that? Did I hear something that you are married to a South African? With the word,
yes.
Did I hear something different? Unfortunately, at this point, we have data for Biafrans. So if she's not a Biafran, she's not eligible to participate in the process at this time.
Yeah, the children is, but the wife not at this time.
Yes.
Okay, my kids are can register with me? Okay.
Yes, for collection of data, yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
And in future, okay, I think it should be addressed. In future, if you want to talk to Biafra land, since she's not the data system, what must she do?
Right now, we do not have answers yet, but of course, according to the international standards, once you meet the requirements to become a citizen of any nation, you will just go through the application process, and those that are the Department of Homeland or whichever department that is going to handle that, I believe they're in the best position to make decisions on such applications. But for now, we're focusing on this data collection, and when we get to that bridge, I believe we are going to cross it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Hugo Daniel. Hugo Daniel, unmute yourself.
Good evening from everyone in the house. Please, I just want to ask you a question. For those of us in Nigeria, what is the requirement for us to be able to register and vote for the referendum? Since there is no any mix of identification as in Nigeria, that we are in Nigeria. So what is the requirement that will qualify us as a Biafra to be able to register for the voting that is coming on?
Well, that is for Biafrans in homeland, you're gonna use Tag D. Tag D is for every Biafrans, both the ones that have in homeland that has a means of identification and the ones that doesn't. So in Biafra land, we are not expecting that Biafrans in homeland gonna have identification, because the only thing they're gonna have is gonna be Nigerian passport, which is not accepted in Biafra. So you go to Type D, you choose Type D, you register your information to say I am a Biafra. Then the government will recognize you. So when Biafra come, then you can now apply for your ID card.
Okay, thank you. That is my question.
So in addition to that, in addition to what my sister just responded, Igor, you got to give us your photo, your face, okay? That is an identification right there. But on that form, we are not treating the forms right now. On the forms, there are questions that you got to answer that will tell us that you are a Biafran. Okay?
Right.
So it's not just you go and say, I am ego, here's my photo. No. There are questions that you're going to answer that will tell us. Remember, we said we even going to talk about your family tree. So we're going to ask you questions and you're going to answer and we will determine whether you're a Biafran or not. Thank you.
Igo, unmute yourself. I had to mute you because there was noise on your side. Are you okay with your reply? Igo. Igo, Daniel. Well, I believe he's fine. Thank you, Igo. All right, we'll move. Anaido. Anaido, please unmute yourself.
Hello, Mama Man. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Live and direct. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Biafrans. Please, my question goes to like this on the children under 18 years. Now, I'm talking about the parents that are divorced or separate, and the man or the woman did not have the access to their children's documents, birth certificate or passport. Can that man or the woman put the name of their children when doing his own registration, as he's answered the same name and is paying all the money? Can that man put his name of his children without birth certificate and passport? Then when the Biafra comes now, when he have access to the passport, can submit it for the ID card? Or are we going to do separate registration for our children under 18 years? That is my question. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, Biafrans in homeland, again, are not applying for ID card for now.
He's not in homeland. He's not in homeland.
Not in homeland. Not in homeland. I'm not talking about homeland.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that question now. I am confused with the question.
I can help you. I can help you with that. Sorry. I think the answer to that is that for now we are only collecting data, so you do not need to upload any identification documents once we are collecting data for the underage. Secondly, I believe that if you don't have access to the photocopies of the passport information or any other documentation for your underage children, and you are legally residing in that country, there should be a means of an online personal information, where the list of your family members are listed. It could be the tax office, or it could be the government services or something, where you can get the information of your children. So, but right now we are not collecting data of passport or identity documents from underage. This is a data collection at the moment, so they can just give their information unless the person is applying for the identity card. Then that is required, and unfortunately, you cannot make application without having those documents at hand. Or if you have any other means of, I think if you can also get a statement from for example, for local authority stating the name of the children, even though you don't have access to their traveling documents. But if you go to somewhere, something that states that this is your children, or something of that kind, I think that that could be considered at that point.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you very much. All right, Benedict, Sir Benedict, please unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Biafrans, for giving me this opportunity. I thank you, all the ministers in this house, for all your efforts, your work. God bless all of you. Pastor Van Van Van. Please, my question, I don't know, I didn't enter. Maybe my question has been answered, but allow me, please, to express myself. There's when we were speaking with, was a question that was asked our BM one day about doing DNR. I could remember our leader was saying you have to do a DNA before. Sorry if this question is out of point in this forum, but maybe it worries me that I want to present it. When our leader was asked, he was saying we will do DNA when Biafra comes. And during one of the DNA. Sorry? Am I? Sorry?
Please go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, yeah. When our PM was discussing about this particular data question, data collection, somebody asked him about whether we are doing the DNA, and now he said, not now, maybe later. But I'm worried about it because you know those who lived in our land for years now, you know the people I'm talking about, our main problem. And they are clever and very clear in their character. Those that have been living our land, even answering our names and speaking our language, yet they have their agenda. What can we do to make sure they are identified, or if the DNR is not in our ID card or one of those things we have to give as our identity? That's my concern I want to present. Thank you.
Thank you so much. One thing I have to guarantee you is that this government of us is going to do everything possible to fish them out. Believe me. Don't worry, you don't have to worry about that. We're gonna do everything that we've been going through today is because of these people. So don't worry about that. There is plan for that. And it's not don't worry.
Another thing.
Hold on, let me also chip in something, because that's a very interesting question that you just raised. And in addition to that, you have to understand that at this point we do not have what it takes to conduct a DNA test. And we look at, we are scattered all over the diaspora, and if we want to put that into consideration, it might take a lot of time. So what we are after currently now is to gather our Biafran citizens data as much as we can to be able to conduct the referendum. So as to those in homeland, we need your data. So if a Fulani person or whoever it might be wants to come and register their data, well, that is up to the person. We always have a way to fish out that person. One thing we know is that as a Biafran, everybody has where they come from. So by the time they ask you who is your family and from which village are you from, and your name does not correspond, or you're not being able to identify yourself from any community, I think that is something that already will fish you out. So do not worry, like the Prime Minister has assured you. Once the Prime Minister has assured you of something, it is not in your responsibility anymore to worry, because he is there. He and the government is there to worry for you. We are doing the worrying for you. So please, once he has given you his word, you must adhere to that and worry no more. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please, may I ask another question? Now I'm in diaspora, UK precisely, and my people at home may not be able to do this registration due to network or whatever reason. Is it possible for me to be here in diaspora and do their data from here? After getting the information, the much I could from them.
No, you can't. To be able to help them, you have to be at the same location as them.
Okay. So that means I have to do only my own here?
Yeah, because you need to use that same phone that you used in filling in this information to take a picture. When the time for picture comes, it's going to prompt you. You take a picture now, you do that. So if you are over there and they are in Poland, you could be able to do that for them. So whoever is going to do it for them is going to do the whole thing at once. So what you can do is you can ask a friend in homeland to go to your home and help you to take all their data. Or you give it to someone, they can go home and do that for them.
And this data for them also before this election in Finland, before the election.
Yes.
Yes.
Before the conduct.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sorry, did you say election? We're not conducting elections.
You meant
before the convention.
Yes. Okay, convention. Okay, I thought you. Yeah, we're not going to elect anybody. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okachuku, please unmute yourself. Please, no more raising of hands. Please.
Good evening. Good evening, Biafrans. All protocols duly observed. Please, my question is for those of us that asylum seekers, and maybe until this time we don't have our residence where we are, or we have been making our personal contributions to the Biafran government directly. I want to ask which category do we fall in for the data collection? And secondly, I want to know maybe if we are not eligible now to apply for the ID card, when we will be given the chance to apply for the ID card, we will be able to get the ID card with regards to the people that have been contributing on showing our receipt of personal payment and all that. Please, I want to be clarified. Thank you.
Thank you. You said you're if you're an asylum seeker, if you can apply. If you're an asylum seeker, you have a identification number from the government, from the country you reside in, right?
Yes, yes.
So that is also a means of identification, because your data is already with the government. So that makes you legal somehow in the country, even though your asylum hasn't been finalized.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. But which category can I apply for?
That is, if you've been supporting in our struggle and you have your receipt done, you use category B, special status.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, please, Chinedu, can you unmute yourself?
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me well, please?
Go ahead, please.
My question goes to, just to add up to the last caller said, like someone that who would live in maybe a corner residence and he did that from earlier, without any proper identification, only his own Nigerian passport, how can that person be contributing all the time every time about the passport? How can that person apply for ID card from your place?
I didn't hear properly.
Someone that living in diaspora, they living there as an alien, and when you are alien, someone that have a proper documents, is not recognized in the system of that alien. How can that person, and he is contributing from the beginning up to the moment, how can that person they are allowed to apply for the ID card, or they are allowed also to be into the data system?
Well, if you're living abroad and you don't have a legal document, you haven't applied for an asylum, because for those that have applied for asylum, they will get identification number. If you don't have that and you don't have other means of identification that is issued in the country of your residence, then you also can use Type D. You register as a Biafrans.
Okay, I understand. That's all I have, because I have something about another question. One idea.
Yes, and if you're referring to an alien, so it means that you've already applied for asylum status for you to be and have an alien status. So what will happen is that you can present the document to be issued by your host country, and then there are procedures whereby you go through series of interview to that means some certain information, and we will further inform you on the next steps as to how you're going to obtain your identity document. So there is a process for every individual, and we must treat every case on individual. It's going to be case by case individual application. So the situation might be different with the next person application. So we have to treat every application based on that specific situation. But as to your alien status, you have the option to use the Type B if you're legally residing in that country of your residence. But if you're referring to someone that is not recognized, or or the country where you're living, do not even know that you're residing in that country, then the answer is what my colleague has responded, that you can use the application to submit your information. Thank you very much.
Okay, please, one question from the comment section. And Sisu, Biafra, and Prudence, although different questions, but they are all pointing at the same thing. People who are not able to show a means of financial contribution, either because you don't have or you are doing boy or something. If you are doing boy or you don't have to financially contribute, remember we said it's either financially or service or both. So if you don't have financial, you must have service. So what you have to do is you go in, do your application, provide us with evidence that you've been serving Biafra. Okay, I hope that answers the question. And it is important for everyone to know ID card is secondary. Okay, that's a different thing. Everybody's data must be given to the government. During that process of submitting your data, you can then say, I want an ID card. That is where all these different categories and identification documents will come in. But please, whether or not you qualify to get ID card, give your data to the government, please. Obi, okay, I think we've taken the Sisu question, but
yes.
Yeah.
And in addition to the boy that Sisu just mentioned, you must understand that all of us are doing the boy together. We are all serving Biafra without nothing. We are not getting anything. So we are in the same boat. If I'm going to use the type B, you are going to use the type B. So do not panic. It covers everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. And please, Mazu, it's good to lay emphasis on the fact that the data registration or the data collection for now, for this movement, for what we are doing, and for Biafra to come is more important for us and for every one of them than waiting and thinking about the ID card. Because if you don't have your data submitted to the government, then having your ID card is not the most important thing. It's like the prof has explained now. Everyone must be in the data. What is the most important thing for you to actualize Biafra and for our referendum to be, top notch? Get to the system and get yourself, acknowledged as a Biafra. That's the most important thing. So don't think that the most important is ID card. For now, the ID card is not the most important. The most important thing is for you to get your data across to the Biafra government. Thank you very much.
Yes, that's actually the fact by our minister. Like Professor Sharma said, identity document is secondary, of which anyways is at your disposal. You can always apply for it. But the most important thing is the data collection. And even when you're applying for the identification card, your data is being collected at the same time. But the most thing is to get that status as a Biafran to enable us to conduct the referendum. Many of us have waited for this time, so I don't think there should be anything that would hinder you from participating in this democratic process. It's your time. As they normally say, this government, our government. So without you, there is no government. So we all are the government, and we just happen to do the boy in our own different ways. So thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you. Andy Johnson, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Bam, and therefore, good evening. I want to just some questions. People have answered their question, but I'm asking my own different way. Because I have a sister who has a child from another person. The child is now 8 years, but since that 8 years, the man, they did not marry. They just have a child with the man. and the man is no more. It's almost over 6 years now. She haven't saw the man again. So now my question is, will she be able to pass her nationality to that child?
The answer is yes, because the criteria or the requirement is that one of your biological parents must be either your father or your mother must be a Biafran. So that automatically qualifies the child become Biafran citizen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, I told us that the hands are not over. All right, thank you. The last person here is Chinedu. Chinedu Abu, please unmute yourself. Chinedu Abu, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, that goes down. So, hi everybody.
I'm sorry, I muted myself. Sorry, I not muted myself. No, I'll hand over to you now to sum it up. Thank you.
Abatobie, Agini,
Oh, Biafra.
Abatobie, Odogu Kalili Bie, Abatobie, Mwana Papukewo, Abatobie, Okodogu, Madrizi, Oke Mwa. Mwafulu wunye n'anya, obichala agụ anya mmiri, mmụọ na-apụ apụ oke odogwu, nna m tiwara jewe, mmụọ ya afụgo mmadụ ya afụgo. Anya mmiri bichala ụmụ Biafra, eziokwu niile ya ahụ ga-abịa. Ezi nwa tiwara jewe, ụmụnne gị so ga-eje, Ọbatobie.
Unmute yourselves, and the other everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Please, we'll hand over to the professor now. Professor Choma, please, you and your team, give us your closing remark, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, bro.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, our media team. You guys are doing wonderful. Thank you, Biafrans. I really don't have much to say again. You've heard everything that we presented to you. This government is your government. The other thing is that we always talk about Nigeria not having democracy. The Biafra government has given you democracy. Now, all of us here, young, old, big, small, rich, poor, we have one vote. One vote. Our prime minister has one vote. You have one vote. Every individual has
one vote. It is the process of voting, that civic duty, that is what keeps everyone on the same level. If you refuse to take this advantage, now you are shooting yourself, because you are saying, well, I'm not equal to you. So if you want to eat on the same table with everyone else, we are all equal. One person, one vote. Go out as soon as the Prime Minister announces that the link is out. Go out today. Register your data, because registering, you are casting that one vote. The Prime Minister will register and cast that one vote. So please, my people, go out, cast your one vote so as to improve your own life. When you don't cast your vote, you are not improving your life and the lives of the people in your community. Evangelize and do that, then you are on the way to a better life. Thank you so much, my people, and I hand the microphone to. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Choma. Thank you, BIAFRANS, and thank you, the media team, for being here again with us and doing the marvelous job again. You know, we appreciate you. It's not easy. Thank you so much for doing this for BIAFRANS. And all I have to say to BIAFRANS once again is, please, you know what to do. The government will do their part. You as a citizen, you also have your part to play. The role you're going to play in this our freedom is registering yourself. Make yourself known and be recognized as a Biafran. That is all you have to do. That is all you have to do. The government will do the rest. And we have to prove to the international world that we are indeed ready to go, you know, to have it in our hand. This is Biafrans that we want to go. So this is the time to do that miracle we've been talking about. Go out and register yourself. That's all you need to do and nothing more. Thank you so much. And I say good evening from here.
Yes, thank you very much, Wandobi, and thank you very much, Professor Choma. Thank you, the media team as well. You guys have always been doing a great job, and I know that you will continue to do the great work that you have been rendering to BIAFRANS. I will say it again, this government and our government. But one thing is that it's not just by saying that this government is your government, but what are you going to make out of your government? How are you going to prove that this is your government? That is by coming to giving your data to that government, for that government to be able to establish that it has participants, those that have, because without citizens there is no government in place. So you must make sure that at least can you meet those that everyone that doesn't have the mic. Some people are making noise. So please give in your data, because without giving your data.
Please, Masviche, unmute yourself. I just muted everyone. Masviche, unmute yourself. Sorry.
Yes. So your data is very, very important for the government. You must show that you want to participate in this democratic process. And another important thing is the fundraising. Please endeavor to participate in the fundraising. Without the fundraising, we will not come this far. It is very, very important. Our men are on ground, just as we are here, rendering our own part of the service. So are they on that part of the Biafra and rendering their own services, and we all must support them in every way possible. I also call on all my European representatives, please do everything as much possible to assist our Biafra regions, respond to their questions, attend to them, try to respond to them in a manner that they will understand, because as this process is going on, a lot of questions are going to be coming in, and it might feel overwhelming, but please do not be discouraged. If you need any further information as to clarifications, my number is there. You can always reach out to me. But please, we must make sure that we attain and serve Biafrans, because once you're a public servant, your doors must be open to respond to Biafrans at all times. And also, our people all over Europe, please ensure that you cooperate and ensure that your housing offices are functioning, because it is for your own services and not for anyone else. So however it is you want your housing office to serve you, it is going to be you who is going to facilitate the upkeep and progress of your housing. Same thing goes to people in Africa. Please reach out. Always ensure that you reach out to your African rep, Mazia Dino, collaborate with him, ensure that everything is put in place to make sure that whatever you need for your housing offices to function is put in place. So thank you very much, everybody. I want to thank our Prime Minister. Without him, we would not be here having this discussion. So my special regards, gratitude, and respect goes to our Prime Minister, Francis Amanekwa. He has demonstrated that he's one of a kind, and we are backing him up with everything in our disposal. Thank you very much, everyone. And from here, for me, good evening and good morning to everybody.